All right, ladies and gentlemen, 1-3, integers and absolute value. The I can statement is what? Somebody give me the I can statement, Jeffrey.
I can compare/order integers and evaluate absolute value.
All right, so I'm going to tell you right now, in our notes, we did not do any practice with comparing and ordering integers. Comparing and ordering integers. Okay, just real quick. If I give you the integer 3 and I give you the integer -2, how would you compare those? Anybody have a thought? Yes.
By the sign they have before, is it positive?
Okay, is 3 bigger than -2?
Yes.
Okay, that's probably one of the best ways to compare it, so you're going to write 3 is greater than -2, right? If I asked you to put 3 and -2 in order, could you guys do that?
Yes.
So therefore, I just showed you how to compare and order integers, which I think you guys can do. Yes, no?
Yes.
Okay, so we're basically talking about the greater than and less than sign, and then putting things in order from biggest to smallest or smallest to biggest, depending on what it tells you to do. All right, we talked about the word integer. We talked about what absolute value is. We came up with a great cheat sheet idea by saying integers are not decimals or fractions. Integers are always what, everybody? Whole numbers and?
They're opposites.
Okay, let's try that again. Integers are always what?
Whole numbers and their opposites.
So if I have the whole number 1,000,000, what is the opposite of 1,000,000, everybody?
Negative 1,000,000.
Excellent. And by the way, what is the additive inverse of 1,000,000?
Negative 1,000,000.
Additive inverse basically means opposite, right? So it's the opposite sign. So the additive inverse, the fancy way of saying opposite, would be additive inverse. And that is way down here. When we forgot to add it, we added a whole other main idea called that vocabulary addition. And we said, see, additive inverse is changing to the opposite sign. Super duper, right? Absolute value is, the definition is listed there for you. We know the symbol for absolute value is 2 parallel lines. In this case, we did not put a number inside of it, but the example for 3a is the absolute value of -4. It's just the distance a number is from 0. If you look at a number line and you are looking to solve absolute value, you just find the number 0 and you count how far away that integer is or that number is. Yes, no?
Yes.
Can you do the absolute value of something besides an integer? Can you do the absolute value of 3 halves?
No.
Really? Did I anywhere tell you that absolute value only applies to integers? I never said that, did I? Did I ever write that?
No.
So, just for fun, the absolute value of 3 halves is equal to what? 3 halves. Okay? So, we were talking about integers just because we wanted to know what an integer was, and it's important to know what integers are. But when it comes to absolute value could be of anything that is a number. Okay, the absolute value of -1/10 is what? 1/10, excuse you. Not -1/10, 1/10. Okay, so again, don't get confused. Absolute value could be with any number. We gave you some examples of doing an operation within absolute value. Should you do the operation first, then find the absolute value?
Yes.
So if you notice, I did the operation first, 5 minus 6, which is what? And then I boxed my answer as 1 because the absolute value of -1 is 1. So always do the operation first. Same thing with number 7. I did the operation first. I added them together and received, or not received, but got my final answer. Last but not least, you can't get rid of negatives. So if you have a negative absolute value of a number, the negative needs to stay attached. So the absolute value of -2 is what, you guys? The absolute value of -2 is what, you guys? You guys gotta start listening better. You would never ever catch that. The absolute value of -2 is 2. So I write 2, and then I can't forget this negative sign, so I have to attach it on to the end. Yes or no?
Yes.
Be careful and also start listening a little bit better. Anything else?
No.
Again, you don't need to answer that. Just raise your hand if you have something.